entrepreneurial. So the way I built my team was just me bending. It was finding out what was important for each athlete, also the staff. How do you want to work? How do you work best? How can I get the best out of you? And then when you start to question people, it becomes a shared journey. So my young lad from Zaporizhia in Ukraine, he was like, I don't want to do this. I don't believe in this. I don't like that. I also need someone to be quite dictatorial with me. And that's how I work my best. And then you get someone else who'll go, just leave me alone. If I tell you I do my job, I do my job. Just leave me alone. But you have to manage everyone differently. Gone are the days where you get a team of people and you all do the same thing. So it's all about individualizing a team, respecting differences. You can't, just because someone thinks differently to you, doesn't mean they're wrong. It's just how their perception of the world might be different. So you have to understand their perception, and they also have to understand mine. So that's how I built my team. Multicultural, Turkish, Ukrainian, Russian, British, American, French, Danish, South African, list goes on. But it's shared values, and it's really just, appreciating that everyone is different. Everyone wants to win, right? My team wasn't fun. I'm not a fun leader, put it that way. But we were focused on winning. Everything was around winning, being successful. So failure is not tolerated. And if you say you can do something, the expectation is you would do it. And there's the feedback in there is, why didn't you succeed? Why not? So being direct, very, very transparent, which I really like, by the way, because how many people do we know that you do a job and then people talk behind your back? He was just straight. You failed. That's it. No argument. No, yes, but this, the weather wasn't good, or no, you didn't hit your target. That's your problem. It's not mine. And I respect this. I really do. So we were very focused on success. So winning is the focus. And while some people was journey to winning, that it looks different to everyone. But that was our shared goal. That was our driver as a team. We're going to win. We're going to win as many gold medals as possible. We're not interested in silver or bronze. I don't care in this. The focus of the team is winning. And don't expect that to be fun, discotheque, pubs, nights out, whatever. It's business. And athletes can relate. They like transparency. They like to be direct. So I was direct with everyone. Guys, you're in a professional team. You're being paid to be a professional swimmer, and you get all this beautiful thing in Gloria. And when your performance goes, you're no longer necessary. So we will stop investing in you. But this is where the good thing, because it was so clear, no one complained. So if the athlete, sometimes the federations, they have to be a bit more sensitive, but because we were private, like a football club, like Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, Besiktas, if you're not playing well, you're out. You no longer receive your money, you don't get your salary. And they responded very well. Everyone understood the rules. It was clear, we're only here to win.
Does this perspective create any pressure or stress on you or athletes?
So what we had was, I set extremely high expectation. So if you come and swim in my team, you're expected to win. That's it. So the expectation is very high. The expectation is high on staff. It's harder on the staff, to be honest, than the swimmers, because there's a constant pressure. So to manage, the way I like to manage, I like disharmony within a team. So every team in the world is dysfunctional. Every business, you go in McDonald's or BMW or Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, within the team, it's dysfunctional. There's people complaining, this person, it's just life. And once you accept that every business is dysfunctional, then you can move forward. It's the businesses or the structures that manage the dysfunction the best are the ones that have better performance. No one is perfect. So my team, it's chaos internally, but it's managed chaos. Mm-hmm. So within the staff, I had set incredibly high expectation. There was always some conflict within the staff, but you need that. You need everyone to feel a little bit on edge to drive high performance, because if you're comfortable, you'll never perform. And this is one big problem there is in Turkish swimming at the minute. There's a lot of money that goes into the clubs. The clubs pay the athletes, so they get paid very well for their level. So where's the incentive to get better? And my structure in Britain, I was a head coach of a national centre in Britain. I've been a British swimming head coach. It's just business, but be direct so everyone understands and there's never a problem. Manage the dysfunction better than anyone else.
Because as I understand, chaos is okay as long as the leader is comfortable in it, right?
Absolutely.
And the stress for the athletes, that amount of stress is actually good for them to push a little bit more and more. So it works well in your situation, right?
Yeah, but they have to be right. They have to believe. The athletes have to believe in you. So there's one thing with athletes, they're very fickle, they'll move. So it doesn't matter if, for example, if we're a professional team and we pay athletes to train or we give them free accommodation in Gloria or whatever, it doesn't matter. If they don't get results, they'll leave. It doesn't matter, they'll leave. So they have to believe in the vision, your vision, where you're going. And that's kind of where, I talked about earlier about transparency, working with the athlete along where are you going, what do you believe makes you perform. And because it's like emotional contracting with an athlete, it's emotional contracting between me and the athlete that we're on this journey together. So I'm listening to you. If you're telling me, okay, you say to me, James, to win the 5K next year at Aqua Masters, I need to do 60,000 meters a week and I need to train that, and I deliver a program that will do that. But then I can also come back saying, no, I think you need to do this. But then we have a shared vision of what we both agree success will look like. So you're very much involved in the process. It's not just me, it's our process. It's not, and that's what I do with the coaching. I'm not the guy that will stand on the pool side and say, do this, we're going to go 15 400s, and if you don't like it, get out. And no, it's we talk and we develop the program together.
How do you manage this kind of situations?
So one of my coaching philosophies is survive success. And it sounds strange, right? Because success changes people. It reveals a different type of personality. And a lot of athletes are young, and when people get big success, everything changes. Agents get involved, suddenly they get a lot more money and press, and some can believe their own hype, but some of it remain very much the same. But everyone changes with success, and it's something you have to manage over time. So if I have an athlete, a young athlete, they go to the World Championships, they win, then you go off on holiday, then they come back a totally different person. Some believe they don't have to do the same stuff anymore. They don't want to change things, and you're like, why do you want to change anything? You've just won. But this is human nature. And what I figured out over time I had conflicts with athletes when I was a young coach. So I'm doing my job, I'm working hard. The athlete becomes world champion. They come back and they start telling me what they're doing, and I'm going to photo shoot, and I'm like, this is just insane. But that was my insecurities. That was my issues. I wasn't developing with the athlete, and then that's when the athlete and the coach generally have a breakdown in communication, is after success, because things are changing. The coach is not developing with the athlete, or the athlete is not being pulled in, or has different influences, maybe managers. So what I do now is it's all about communication. So when, like Ben, he's won every event in the swimming season: World Short Course, World Long Course, Commonwealth Games, European Championships. He's had one of the best years of any athlete ever. And it's just always keeping talking, like, what's next, man? Also accepting that if he has sponsorship and everything to do, you have to incorporate that in your plans. You have to grow with your athlete. So to manage the success, it's this communication, teamwork, right? How are we going to manage this together? Again, but now I have more experience. Before I used to get angry. Now I have a lot more experience with, right, this is what we've achieved. Now, how are we going to move to the next step? What do we need to change? How do we develop together? And when you start putting those questions to the athlete, very adult questions, because I'm dealing with 28-year-old, 30-year-old men and women, it's like, how do we keep developing together? And you can change the narrative just with a few little sentences. It's not like swimming, to be honest, with the athletes that I'm working with, you're not a coach, you're more a manager and a mentor, because they're good. To be honest, they could probably swim well with other coaches. It's because they're good swimmers. And so you're in a role where you're just trying to create a lovely bubble around them to keep them going. So how do you maintain the level of success? Always talking. Just keep talking. How can we move forward? And that brutal honesty as well. If I don't believe that the athlete is doing what is necessary to win, you have to be honest with them. And they also have to. It's not the coach being mean or rude. It's like, because I've been in situations where you tell an athlete, "Oh, we're doing okay. We're doing okay." I'm like, well, I've learned the hard way. So just be honest. I worked in Britain. I was lucky. I was put on a government self-development course, elite leadership with the British government, and you keep learning new things and you keep reading new things. For the athletes, I've always been a big fan of full-time education, but it's hard. It's difficult to maintain that. So when I was young, 20 odd years ago, 25, 26 years ago, there was not a lot of money in swimming. So your journey was you study, you go to university, and then you swim. There was no really full-time athletes. So I studied full-time and I trained. I have a degree in economics. I have a master's degree in international relations. But I studied full-time and swam. Now that it's getting a bit blurry. So what I'd suggest to the athletes is that you need something. It doesn't matter if it's university. It's just something. If it's reading a book constantly, if it's a language course, if it's just some psychology initiative, it's just something that you've got going on, just to take that away a little bit. It can be like Sarah did a nutrition course and strength. It doesn't have to be the whole year. It's just one thing. You've got something going on, because otherwise you can get a real toxic mentality in your head if it's just all swimming. You have a bad day and then 2 bad days. Reality, you have 2 bad days, it doesn't matter. Who cares? It's 2 bad days. Like, if people in offices go for weeks, they don't want to go to work, doesn't mean they're depressed or whatever. 2 days and whatever, but just have something else just going off. So what we were forced to do, and this was part of the job, so if you don't do it, you're out, is that you have a budget and you have to develop every year. You have to invest that budget into yourself. And if you have to find courses, it might be some education course online, you have to do it. And you have to demonstrate to the bosses that you're doing it. And I kind of brought that into Energy Standard as well. Like, you have to be, human nature is to sit back, is to comfort. But it's that sort of thing where we were forced into development, and that keeps, because your athletes are only as good as your team, or your business or your structure is only as good as your staff. Like, your staff have to manage. If you've got Sarah Sjostrom, Chad Leclos, Flora Manadou, they need to look at every member of staff and feel 100% faith in what they're doing. Otherwise, if there's a crack in the chain, things will fall down very quickly. Change as well. So, but one thing I've seen with the athletes is it's a constant self-belief. So you do get great swimmers, they'll turn up, they'll win the Olympics, and then we'll never see them again, ever. They know they've achieved, they can't, it's their mentality, it's nothing right or wrong, they're just up there, then gone. You get others that, good, bad, and then you get ones like Sarah Sjöström, which are just at the top. And these people they are very, very good in themselves. So the serial winners, they have a quality in that they know they're very good in their own body and their own skin. Yes, they're very passionate about winning. Yes, they're uber competitive, but they also are they know who they are. They know their own values. So the win is never too big, and the loss is never too bad. So and I see it over and over with the serial winners. It's more incredible self-belief and self-confidence, incredible knowledge of self and worth. Like, their worth is not only if they've got a gold medal. A lot of athletes, they only feel worth when they have a gold medal. They feel important. A lot of these guys don't care. They have one, they don't. I'm still an Olympic champion, and I'm still this, but it allows them to carry on at such a level because they're not getting this constant up and down. A lot of athletes retire because they're mentally exhausted rather than physical. To deal with this constant peak and trough is exhausting. It's exhausting. So yeah, they know their worth and incredible self-belief. There's no doubt. It's not a delusion. It's not arrogance. It's just, I know I'm good. And it's just deep inside. So she got back, she won a medal at the Olympics with barely any training. And it came back to what I said to you earlier, the good ones are good. And they've got this self-belief in that even if I train for 5-6 weeks, I'm still good enough to win a medal. But honestly, it's 1%, even less of professional athletes. Most athletes have their career, it's a peak, a trough, and it's like this all the way through. 1 year, great, like Ben had a terrible year last year. Now this year he's had the best of his life. And then who's to say, well, who knows what happened next year? And you just look at everyone, that most are like this. And then you can get one or two that would just be, but these are the real minority.
Do you think, is it something that can be gained afterwards, or it's just a part of the structure, personality?
Honestly, I think it's part of your structure. I don't think it's taught. I think it's just you. It's just your value. It's just what you've got from your parents and your upbringing. That's it. It's very difficult to be taught. Like I said, you see such fantastic swimmers win, incredible swimmers win the Olympics. Joseph Schooling, we never saw him again. He beat Michael Phelps in 2016, disappeared. It does happen, and it's not, like I said, it doesn't matter. They've won the Olympics. It doesn't matter they've disappeared. They've done an amazing, an incredible feat of excellence. But these serial winners are, honestly, yeah, it's inbred in them. It's something that you can't nurture really. It's just their mentality. Because like I said, a lot of swimmers, like I said, they're like this, up and down. That's how that majority of humans are. You successful, and then you have to deal with defeat. You're great. That's 99.9% of us are like this. So these others are just more robotic.
Ooh, wow. Okay. Well,
the critical thing you said there is it's developing. Keep developing. And the thing is with development, it doesn't matter if it's wrong. At least you know it's wrong. At least you've looked into it and you've tried new things, and just be curious. Do you understand curious? It's like we have a saying, curiosity killed the cat. And in English. So curious, just be like, you know, if someone achieves great things, it's almost good to see why are they doing such good things. And one thing with Gloria, what it taught me was we saw so many great athletes come through, some doing terrible training programs, but in our opinion, you know, they're terrible training programs, but they're winning more medals than our swimmers. And it's because that person believes in their process and what they're doing. And you can just see how trends are set. If it's more about just exposing yourself, looking at what's going on, and the more, honestly, the more, same as everyone, the more you see how different everyone is and how different everyone does it, you realize that we don't actually know too much ourselves. Because the journey to win the Olympics, you get 8 swimmers in a final, probably all, like I said, none of them have got the same mother and father except for Kate Campbell's, but they all come from different areas of the world, speaking different languages, eating different food, working with different coaches, but yet they all swim the same, pretty much the same. So we can always learn from each other. And, you know, we need to understand that some things like I said, we saw terrible swim programs. Maybe it's not so terrible. It's just what we're taught may, you know, we've streamlined us in this direction. So Japanese, Americans, Turkish, you do it all totally different. So you got to find the best in every system, bring it into yours, stay humble, never believe that you know everything. If you do, you're absolutely fucked. Sorry. But, you know, just keep trying to find ways to progress.